All right. My question to you guys is, what does the world look like at $1 million Bitcoin? Whether it's 2035, like BTC Backpacker says, or whenever Trent wants it to be when he retires.
Tomorrow?
What? Yes. What will the world look like at a $1 million Bitcoin, aka one sat, or 100 sats for $1, aka one sat for 1 penny?
Well, it's gonna be one of two things. It's gonna be breadlines or super, utopia. It's honestly no. It's probably gonna look exactly like it is today. Who are we kidding? Inflation's still gonna be crappy. $1 million Bitcoin doesn't really change normies' lives. Honestly, we're just probably at the beginning of them even knowing what Bitcoin is until they wake up. Life is literally just going to be the same as it usually is.
What's the purchasing power of the US dollar going to be by then? If we're at $1 million Bitcoin, Trent, like, give me just a few examples of stuff that we're spending now, like rent, food, stuff like. Where do you predict things will be at that time?
So we can just do it by we think it's probably like $20-30 million Bitcoin.
Because here's the thing, before you answer that, he just told us it's a 15x from here, right?
Yes.
So we're not saying that, even though we know $1 million then will be very less than it is now, it's not going to be a 15x lower, correct?
Oh, if it is, we're going to be in big trouble.
Right. So again, we will deflate quicker than they will inflate, right?
Well, the goal of the Fed right now is to inflate away the debt. So there's definitely going to be a bit of inflation, but you can't push it too much because you'll have revulsion. People won't be able to eat. What's the standard rent in America right now is probably like $1,500, depending on where you live. Probably double. That's probably what I'd guess. Gas maybe 10x. Gas can be manipulated down though. Food is probably going to be doubled. Everything's probably going to be about doubled.
Okay. Third part of that, Trent, is what percentage of, because we don't know what the percentage is now. It's really low. It's probably less than 1% of people being able to spend their sats somewhere in America. We got Steak and Shake. We got a few places on the BTC map. What do you think in America and worldwide will the percentages of businesses and people be accepting Bitcoin by then at $1 million coin?
$1 million, 10%, and probably higher overseas. They seem to adapt online currencies much better than we do here in the United States. So probably like 10 here and 15, 20 overseas. I mean, I'm just pulling out numbers, my gut numbers.
I'm pretty aligned with Trent. I think we 2x when it comes to rent and things like that. Basically, most of goods. Gas is manipulated, obviously. As we can see, you can shoot gas up by $1, $2 in either direction like that. So I think gas is the least of our worries. I would agree that if it goes up too much, you'll have civil unrest, and then it's guns and ammo, baby. If it comes to something like that, real serious situation. I don't know if the country would collapse on itself like that because they know that would happen.
What do you think about income? In the last 20, 30 years, it's only gone up 10%?
Oh yeah, it's stupid. I don't know. Is it even 10%?
Yeah, so
it might not even be 10.
That's a good question for you, Trent. Everything will be doubled. What will your salary be by then? So if your salary is $100,000 now, what will it be by then?
In 5 years?
No.
15?
When Bitcoin is $1 million.
Yeah, and that's what I'm guessing is about 5 to 6 years. I'm guessing your income is only going to be up 15%.
Yeah, because
maybe.
we go. Because is it what did we do? A minimum? Like I'm talking
2.5.
I'm a maximum of exactly 2.5.
We just negotiated our contract, and we were getting a good deal at 3.5.
So you think if all the bills, our expenses are doubled, you think our income, our wages are going to go up 15%? That's a big gap. 85%.
We've already did it during COVID. I bet all my bills doubled from 2020 to 2025.
Yeah, but what did your income go up in those?
Well, I
times?
changed jobs, but if I would have been at the same job, $5 an hour, maybe.
Okay. I think that was extreme though during the scamdemic.
Of course it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you get the extreme jump like that, there's still a multiplier effect on that. Like you can't just recover from that. There's still going to be the backlash, or it's like a dragnet effect, right? Where it's like you may not feel it now, but in 3, 4, 5 years now, because it takes that long for that cycle. So the cycle of from finances in America, when politicians or the country does something now, sometimes we don't feel it to 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road. And
or
so
lawyer.
So there's a multiplier effect. It's like a dragnet. It takes time for everything to funnel through, to recalibrate and balance. And then by the time that's done, we've already started another cycle. And it just kind of repeats itself over and over and over again.
And I think the real question is, we're even missing what is income going to be. The real question is, what is unemployment going to be in that time frame? I bet it's, well, what is it right now? Less than 4%, 4 to 5% for the nationwide. I bet we're in double digits. I bet we're probably in the 20s if it inflates that badly and everything doubles. Just look at my industry. It's getting leaner, and we're talking maybe. I mean, these big companies are just look at Google. They laid off 30,000 people last summer. I mean, and that's a blink of an eye to them.
Yeah, Meta too. They laid off.
Meta, yep.
My man Ralph is in the building. Nurse Huddle, inflation care unit, ICU. He says, I don't even think we need massive inflation for Bitcoin to go to 1 million.
He's true.
If some of money and other assets just rotates into Bitcoin, it might just go up without inflation. What do you guys? I agree with that in principle, Ralph, right? But will it happen? I don't know, bro. I don't know, because there's just too many stupid people out here, bro.
He's not wrong. Say 5% of real estate rotates in $5 trillion, we could have $10 million Bitcoin at 5%.
It's just wealth redistribution, right?
Yeah.
So
the money's not getting created.
No. And it's a common thing. It happens all the time. We're always rotating in and out, or cycles, whatever you want to call it. We're always rotating in and out within different sectors of the market, right? So that's a good point.
So let me answer that question. What will the world look like? And I want you guys to answer this too in the comment section. The question was, what is the world going to look like when Bitcoin is at $1 million? Because honestly, I don't think it's going to stay at $1 million for that long. Okay, I just don't. So we get there. I'm predicting 2031. Well, that's my number. I'm 2031. You said yours is 2035, Backpacker?
The end of the gold rush, essentially.
Trent?
2028.
Not what you want. What you really think it is.
Yeah, you're probably about right there, Jerry.
Yeah. So I say about 2031, the second half of the Epoch 6. Yeah, true. Yeah, bro. Hi, Ralph. So my number is 7% on inflation year over year. So if you do 7
over a year, okay.
Yeah, 7%, because you got to do the compound effect both ways. So 7% in 6 years or 5 years from now is 35%, but it compounds on top of each other. So somebody do the quick math for me on that. And again, all goods and services are not the same. The CPI numbers. I'm talking about everybody's basket of goods is different. That's why I always say personal finance is personal. She's the same as now, but everything is more expensive like it always is. Yes. 2030 for a milli, Jenny says. Okay. Hi, Ralph. I'm BTC Holler, Backpacker's daughter. Jerry, better send me my million sats now so it's cheaper. Yes. So what I think the world's going to look like, whatever that number is, if somebody can do it real quick for me in the chat or one of you guys.
Do you got
I'm
it, Trent? Or
I'm
I'll
going
just do it in Gemini quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do 7% year over year for 5 years, and tell me what that is, real quick. And while you're doing that, I think our income will be not 7%. Obviously, I think our income will be half or a little bit less than that. So again, your raises will be between 2 to 3 to 3.5%. Now, mind you, inflation is 7%. I'm not talking about what you're putting into Bitcoin. I'm not talking about your assets. I'm talking about straight up purchasing power of your wages versus what everything costs. Because we got to look at that stuff, guys.
it's a scary thought.
Yeah.
40.26%.
Okay. From now, so let's do that. So let's say somebody's rent is 1,000 today, then it'll be 1,400.
Yeah.
Right. So it's 40%. I think, again, your wages are getting that gap between, again, this is the important part. That's how we buy Bitcoin, mind you. We buy Bitcoin how? Between our wages and our expenses and the gap in between. The gap is going to keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Meanwhile, the sats are going to be getting more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. This is why I tell everybody you got to front load now, right? So here's how I think the world works. So let's say it's going to be 20 to 25% year over year at 2 to 3.5% of your wages of getting a quote unquote raise over 5 years. So let's say it's 25%. There's going to be a 15% difference of purchasing power in those 5 years at $1 million. So we got that part. I think I'm with Trent. I think about 10 to 15%, 3K, 3K, 3K. I think about 10 to 15% of the global world will be using Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. I don't think, even though I want it to be, I don't think it'll be a unit of account because, again, you got 5 stages of money. My 5. If somebody say 4, I say 5. It's a collectible store value, which is 99% of it right now. That's where we're at with Bitcoin. 3 is a medium of exchange, which is a very small percentage right now. 4, a unit of account, meaning a country or a business or something says, this is our measure of unit. We account with this money and we measure everything in that. And 5, the ultimate, obviously, is the global reserve asset. We're not even going to be, even at $1 million, we're not going to be at a unit of account, not even a percentage. Maybe a couple of places will. And so with that $1 million Bitcoin, you're going to be able to buy 100 sats for $1. 1 penny is going to be 1 sat. And the world is going to look a lot different. People are going to be hurting. Like Trent said, I personally believe, because a lot of people think AI is going to help employment. Some places, I guess it will, but other places, unemployment is going to be pretty bad. And also, too, and I know some of you guys don't want to hear this when I say this, it really matters who's in office, man, in 2028 and 2032. I'm sorry, it just does. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say we take the 2 front runners in America. All right. Right now, for me, it's Marco Rubio, who's number 1. And I hate to say this, guys, but number 1 over there, it's AOC right now. It's AOC. Okay. And AOC literally thinks, and she said this, that she believes that America was built on Marxist ideals because the founding fathers and the people were trying to get away from the millionaires and the billionaires and all the bullshit she says. I'm not going to get into that. So let's say these 2 scenarios.
You're hurting my ears. You're hurting my ears.
Yes. If Marco Rubio is the president and JD Vance is in somewhere, I don't know where JD Vance would be. I don't know in that scenario. Again, I love Marco Rubio as my Secretary of State. I think he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Secretary of State we've ever had. But I like Scott Bessent as a Treasury Secretary. JD Vance is as a VP. I don't know where JD Vance will be. I don't know who the VP will be. But the world is going to look completely different. Again, just like it did in 21 through 25 with President Autopen versus Trump. Okay? AOC and Marco Rubio is going to look completely different. If Marco Rubio is the president, I believe the price won't go up as fast because there won't be so many people trying to revolt against the situation. But if AOC is here, you mark my words, we will have a CBDC. depending on Congress. Okay. And we don't want that. Okay. We don't want that. And I'm telling you, you think Bitcoin adoption is quote unquote fast as the internet and all this shit, it ain't going to be nothing compared to central bank digital currencies. Nothing. Do you know how fast people are going to download that and receive their free money once they say, hey, we're going to give you $1,500 if you don't work, if you do what we tell you to do, you go to this meeting, don't say this on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. So again, it depends on a lot of things, how the world is going to work. And this is why I tell you, it's not just about voting with your nodes and with, BIP 110 and where you have your cold storage and whatever, where you put your Bitcoin. It also means where you vote with politics. All right, guys, that's all I got right now. Again, it's the 4th of July weekend. We're not going to hold you up too long. But again, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's why we are the Truth of Work podcast.